Today I'm talking to Malcolm, and I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself.
All right, yeah. My name is Malcolm Kolpak. I am a fourth year student at UBC and currently on a co-op with Hydro One, which is a hydro company here in Ontario.
What are you studying at UBC?
I'm in civil engineering. Sorry.
And have you decided on any specialties yet? Like if you want to specialize in structural, hydrotechnical, or anything, or still up in the air?
Pretty much up in the air. Going off of the courses I took in third year, most of my enjoyment came from structural and hydrotechnical, so that's probably where I'll go in fourth year.
And could you describe then what was it about structural engineering that kind of piqued your interest?
Yeah, I think the course difficulty is higher than say some kind of transportation or soil stuff. I just find it more visual, and when you see things, you can picture a beam and torsion and kind of do it with your hands. And um, I find I apply myself better because it's a little bit harder.
What type of person then do you think would succeed in a structural engineering position? What type of person do you feel should pursue that type of career?
I think you need a good kind of balance between technical skills and knowing what can actually be built in the world. Um, Working now, there's engineers that they kind of take into consideration just what's on paper, calculations, paper, send it to the construction guys, and the construction guys come back and say, "Look, man, we can't build this. It's impossible." So just knowing every area.
Yeah, solid. Kind of hitting more on the school aspect right now. We'll talk more about your work experiences in a bit. What would you say an average day at school looks like for you studying civil engineering?
Yeah, average day, I'd say it's pretty jam-packed. Um, Usually in the civil department, they had classes morning heavy, so we would go, I'd say eight to one or two with classes with a little, maybe half an hour break in between there. And then I like to keep my brain kind of active and fresh by going to the gym. I go to the gym sometime and then hit the books probably until 7, 8, 9. Like to get to bed early and wake up decently early as well. Good.
And how much time would you say is spent specifically on studying and doing homework, not on classes for you?
Yeah, I'd say um, if not how much class you have that day is equaled out by how much after class studying you're doing. So, say if I have 4 or 5 hours of class, you're probably doing 4 or 5 hours of extra studying.
Yeah, and that's mirrored by pretty much most engineers across most specializations have that kind of studying course load.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, especially in final season, right?
yeah, I think varies by skill level and specialty, but that's
Yeah.
mostly the case.
And also drive as well. Some people can get by with a couple hours, but then obviously the grids will reflect that.
Yeah, depends what you want. If you push yourself to strive for that 90, then you got to put in the work.
Kind of transitioning to your work experience then, what does an average day look like for you at work?
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky to be remote right now. So within Toronto, I commute 2 or 3 days a week into downtown Toronto by train. So I'll wake up 6 a.m., take the train, get in. I'll usually have some meetings in the morning, maybe some time to get out and get some coffee. And then my manager's pretty hands off. I will receive work from other people, and they basically send me an email and give me links to work, and then I get it done on my own time before their deadline and send it back. So,
What would you say is usually discussed at these meetings that you attend? Is it like site plans? Is it problems that have come up or just anything in general?
yeah, there's there's occurring meetings within teams just to, every Friday we have one check in. How you doing? What are you working on? Sounds good. And then I've been to project kickoff meetings. So new project, they'll introduce each area of specialty, like which person's on which task, and then boom, the project starts. Or they'll have commissioning meetings, which um, I work in the hydro area with transmission stations. They commission the site to be active again, and we'll go to site, go through everything, make sure it's good, look at the drawings, and that's done on site. And then we'll say site's good to go. Yeah.
What would you say the time you spend between desk work and like field work, like on construction sites, walking around, moving? What would you say the time split is between those two things?
Yeah, I probably 90 to 80% desk. Um, I was hoping it would probably be a little more in person on site, but it costs money for the company to send people, and Hydra's such a big company that um, it's split into two unions. So I'm on the union side of basically the desk. So they have desk people and they have field people. So very rarely would they send a desk person out to the field.
I see. And then when you're at your desk, then what would you say most of your time is spent doing? Is it on drafting? Is it writing proposals? Is it writing evaluations? What would you say that time is spent at?
I'm split pretty good between a wide variety of departments I'm helping out. So I'd say um, drafting drawings is up there. I would say proposals as well. I just finished one up today. And then Excel and Word and Office is probably 50% at least of the work I do.
And on those like Excel, Word, Office, I guess more the Excel side, what are you trying to quantify? What are you like trying to design around, or what are you trying to evaluate with those tools?
Yeah, so I've worked on a few variety of things. I'll give probably three examples. So um, super technical macro that I ran for um, noise on site. So we have transformer stations, and the actual transformers, they make noise when they're stepping down and up voltages, and the fans kick on, and the fans kick on at a certain amp or volt level, and that makes more noise. So there's a computer that keeps track of all the data of when the fans come on, and then you run it through a macro to find out how many hours in the year that the fans were on. That was one example of a more in-depth Excel. I do some climate change calculations, so that's receiving inputs from lines of business of kilometers traveled or diesel used, and then I convert it into greenhouse gases and kind of total the greenhouse gases emitted by the company. And a final example would be they are different sort of compliance issues within sites. So on every site, you need a kind of a safety binder, a spill kit, and different safety items that you need to have on a site. And we'll go through those, and that's more of a check, yes or no, is that on site or not?
I see. Very nice. So one last question then before we wrap up. What is a piece of advice or something to consider that you would tell students who are considering entering civil engineering that they should be aware of before they actually make the plunge?
I'd say it's not easy. There's a lot of work involved. I'd advise you to be good hands-on, or at least be able to picture things well. A lot of things we do in civil that's different from, say, computer engineer is they're doing more software related stuff, and you can't really picture it or feel it with your hands. But when you're in structural or you're working with soil, or it's quantified, but you can also go out and put your hands to it and actually feel it. So that's why I chose civil in the first place, because I like building and hands-on, being able to picture those things. So I'd say be good with that. That's a good advice.